and that's when the attack took place. There is a striking photo online which you can find of the kitchen bench. There is buttered bread sitting there, jars open of jam or whatever might be the case, and it's just sat there. Obviously, when they've come in to investigate the crime scene, it's still there. They didn't even get to make their sandwiches when the attack happened. It was literally that sudden. From what I understand, Monty attempted to protect Kayla and told her to hide. She eventually would have gone to her bedroom first, I would assume, because that's where a little child finds their safe place, as we all did as children. There is a photo of blood on the walls in Kayla's room. It's not Kayla's. From my understanding, it's Monty's, as he was trying to protect her and shield her. They eventually found Kayla's body in the storeroom, or the shed as we would call it, where she had put up some kind of struggle to keep her life, which was taken away from her by another attacker who found her. They then moved to the house under construction, where my understanding is Marie was next, and then Kenny was the last. They actually took him away from the house that was being built, probably tortured him, as he would have been the last alive, and they found his body some distance away from the property further away. That's what I have been able to piece together on that particular story. And when I found the story, I was absolutely appalled by the horrific nature of it, and also the fact that nothing really was said. And I thought, no, people need to know this. People need to know about this little girl and the life that she had. From what I know, she was the most kind-hearted little girl that you would ever be pleased to meet. When she was very young, her godmother, who I know personally, had a challenging day or whatever might have happened, and she was on the couch and was clearly distressed. And Kayla, with a bottle in her mouth, came crawling over, climbed up on the couch, and they hugged, almost as if Kayla knew something was wrong before she could really understand or speak. And from what I understand, they fell asleep on the couch there, comforting each other. And when Kayla was old enough to attend school, as I said before, her family didn't have a great deal of wealth or prestige, but Kayla would give what money she had and what resources she had to help her fellow students. She had such a giving and kind heart. And the thing I find sad is, as you've mentioned before, I do live in Australia. We're surrounded by beautiful beaches, coastline that's second to none in the world. In April of 2016, Kenny and Marie were going to take Kayla to the beach for the first time. She never saw the beach, she never saw the ocean, and she never had the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I want to say something about this for a moment. Thank you, Mike, for sharing that from the heart. There's no media coverage, and that's why Mike began this page, of course. And Kayla's story and Kayla's family's story is just one of many. Mike has shared with us a document from a non-government organization in South Africa. We'll post images of this on the Twitter feeds, our social media feeds after this, about even just now in the month of January 2019, the a collection of the attacks so far, some of them resulting in murders. So this is an ongoing thing. But we have to remember, this is about showing you slices of life and who controls the narrative and the nature of power and the nature, as Jason said, of people being able to rally around something. In an alternate universe, this would be a whole hour-long package on a news show, on a nightly news show, on 60 Minutes or Nightline or maybe even a movie would be made about it. As I joke about sometimes, I call it Vol Hollywood instead of Hollywood in an alternate reality. There'd be movies made about this. There would be women crying in the streets, holding up signs. There would be GoFundMe accounts. But we don't see this in the mainstream. And it's not because these stories don't exist. It's because the narrative, the slice that you're shown, that you're manipulated into, is it's the intention of people that don't want you to know about this, that want to take your heritage from you, that want to take your self-confidence from you, and that don't want you to have something to rally around. But that is why we are creating all of this alternative media. That is why we are connecting with people around the world. And that is why good men like Mike are doing his part. In his case, one of the things, of course, is this memorial page. And as he said, he's doing writing about Kayla and her family, because we need to take the power of narrative back. We need to take the power of perspective back. Jason.
We have a lot of people, and this is an important thing because people want to know what to do. What can they do? How can they be a hero for our people? How can they stop more Kaylas from happening? Well, you want to know how? You look to that hero right there on your screen, Traditional Mike. That is what a hero looks like today. She speaks beyond her grave because of that man. She speaks to millions. And they will speak to millions because of that man. Her voice wasn't snuffed out. Her body might have been taken. But this hero speaks for her, and she to the rest of us. And what will that do? You think that won't have power? If you doubt it for 1 second, there is no piece of hardware that you can find on planet Earth that will wield more power than the voices of our slain come to life again by heroes like Traditional Mike. That is where the real hero is today. He will save countless numbers of our people, while other ideas will do nothing but sit idle. So if you want an example, it's Mike right here. And if you want to help that cause, if you want to magnify Kayla's little voice from the grave, then you get on his Twitter. You retweet the things that he says. You pick a victim and you sponsor that victim's voice on into eternity by way of your social media. The stories are horrific. These are the stories that will reach the ears of our white brothers and sisters at every rung in our civilization. And that will undermine the anti-white power structure.